Okay. All right. So your underlying energy, guys, this time around is a Two of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles. Excuse me. The Ace of Pentacles is your underlying energy, and I like this because this is talking about the process of this new beginning. Ace of Pentacles are typically very slow beginnings, but they mean business, right? They're very serious. They're very, platform building. Okay, this is very, very, very hard work, very, deep work, serious work. Okay, this is what can lead you on to to a long time coming, right? Building a legacy, right? This is the process. So underneath here, you guys have the Four of Cups. So I feel like the reason why you guys have this Ace of Cups is because potentially that there has been an offer, and I feel like you may have made the decision to go ahead and take it up, despite what may, what may not be this, whatever you may have been feeling at the time, apathetic. I feel like there's also a long time of waiting for some sort of offer to return to you. So for a lot of you guys have been waiting and waiting and waiting, and finally you got some sort of return. Now, for your current state of being, you guys have the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords is indicating that you guys may feel trapped, may be feeling, you're not really, able to see that there is an option or there's a way out of your circumstance, right? You may be feeling like there isn't a way out. And I have a feeling it has to do with the thoughts that are surrounding you, right? Now, it's hard, but it's the option, the way out is in regards to, is outside of your blindfold. And the blindfold is something that's going to be hard to take off, especially when you have thoughts that are so serious. This is, Gemini season. Things are very fast. However, it's all about taking off the blindfold. You don't really see, though, the option that you have here. So right now you feel pretty trapped. You feel pretty stuck. Now, for your goal, you guys have the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles is in regards to planning for the future for someone else. The Ace of Pentacles, like I was talking about, does talk about some slow beginnings, really recognizing that if there is a future to build with somebody, but also making plans to make that stuff happen. I feel like at this point, I feel like you want to know where the future can lead. But right now, you don't see it. You don't see it at all. You don't really know how to even begin something long term with this person because you don't even see it. You're blindfolded right now. You're not really absolutely 100% sure if there is even a future to build off of this. Now, the reason why you're unable to build or unable to see the future or unable to plan for the future with your partner, with yourself, whoever, right? It's because of the it's because of the Two of Cups. Either there is no relationship, there is no seeing eye to eye, there isn't someone that you are connecting with, or that there is a relationship here that's keeping you from being able to see to the future. The problems in the relationship is keeping you from being able to plan for the future, and that's partially the reason why you feel stuck. This relationship itself is what's making you feel stuck right now and keeping you from being able to plan for the future. Okay, and the reason why the connection is a problem is because of the Queen of Pentacles. For some of you guys will be working very hard, very diligently. For some of you guys will be focusing a lot on money. You could be focusing a lot on money, but I do get this feeling that someone else, maybe in the relationship, is focusing a lot on money. The Queens would come up as you guys are cardinal signs, but there could be someone else, right? This could be somebody else that's very focused on cash, focused on making money, focusing on practical objects, practical stuff, and it's dampening the relationship. The relationship dynamic is causing, is being affected by this constant need to make sure that practical stuff are kept up, managing things. Let me go ahead and see why the Queen of Pentacles is coming up for the Two of Cups. And I'm going to actually pull, how is the Two of Cups keeping you from being able to plan for the future? So the Queen of Pentacles is coming up for the Two of Cups because of the Two of Wands, a decision or big action being taken in regards to a certain direction, certain passion. Okay, so there's work that needs to be done, pretty much. Work that needs to be done, effort needs to be put in, and I feel like it has a lot to do with the practical stuff. There's action being taken practically to be able to be more stable, or there's some action that's action being taken to be more stable or be more solid in the relationship, to be fully committed to and to commit to the other person. Okay, how is the Two of Cups coming up? Wow, the Two of Cups is coming up as a problem because of the Nine of Wands. I feel like for a lot of you guys have gotten to a place or a point where you guys have defended the crap out of this relationship, but it's drawing a lot of exhausting It's drawing your energy. It's pulling your energy dry, pretty much, or it's making you very exhausted. Okay, now I feel like you guys don't want to give up on it either. I feel like this relationship is something you don't want to give up on. And I don't think that the relationship, I don't feel like the blockage is saying that, hey, the relationship is the problem, you need to cut the cord. I do feel like that there is a situation that is coming up that's requiring and testing your endurance, your strength, your ability to push forward despite how you may be feeling about the relationship at the time. Which could be the reason why you're feeling very trapped right now and not really able to see that there is a solution ahead, because you're constantly being tested. Now, for the Queen of Wands being in your advice, I feel like that's pretty much saying to really know what you're, to be very stern, honestly. Be very stern, very serious. Not take any crap, okay? Because I feel like with the relationship here, with being very stable and things like that, making this decision, taking action and being very straightforward about what it is that you want and going for it. Do what you need to do. Handle your business. Do what you feel like you need to do, ultimately. Queen Wands does what she wants at all times. And with the Queen Wands coming out for you guys, I feel like it's just saying, like, you know what, just be authentic to who you are, be authentic to you. Queen of Swords is just as authentic to herself, but this is the Queen of Wands that we're talking about. She gets things done more than all the queens combined. She is the action-oriented queen. She knows what she needs to do. She does it and does it, or she gets someone else to do it. But she also understands that she is capable of doing the things on her own, possibly even better than the people that she has assigned to do them. So confidence is also another thing as well. Feeling confident in yourself, being confident in your ability to just go ahead and get things done. And confident in yourself to know that when things are not working for you or things cross your boundaries, you know how to handle them. That's a hard one, right? When you're constantly being stepped on or your boundaries are being constantly crossed, you having to check people constantly. That's exhausting. But I feel like that is what the process is all about. Building the foundation, really seeing if this relationship can take off or get to a place where it's more solid, more loyal, get to a place where it's more, where it can stand the test of time. And I feel like with that, you have to be able to say, you know what, this is not cool, I don't like this. This is not right, I don't like this. Being very serious, very on top of things. That's the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles. They're very good at managing things, building things, getting things done, and staying on top of their stuff while understanding that they need to be nurtured, they need to be cared for, they need to be loved, they need to have a solid foundation. And they also understand that whoever they're committed to, whoever they're working with, they are also putting in, they also need that reciprocation back. They need that loyalty back. So it's not only just showing your loyalty, but also making sure you're getting that loyalty back as well. So that I feel like the constant checking thing, that's one of the things, Libra, that you may have to end up doing for a little bit. Checking people, making sure that they're doing the things that you need them to do to make sure that the relationship for you, right, on your part, is good. Because you don't need, because you're good at adapting to other people's, needs and everything. You're the rule of the 7th house, which is about interpersonal relationships. So you're good with that. But you need it. But right now, it's all about making sure that you're good. And I know you guys are you're better at doing that. You're really good at doing that. And I feel like this is the test, right? To constantly be like, okay, this isn't cool. I need you to not do this. That whole thing is annoying to do. Absolutely get it. Because you don't want to make someone feel bad. But at the end of the day, it's like, this is something that you're going to try and make something last forever. You need to at least feel comfortable in it, to be able to, build it to the magnitude or to the length or to the height that you want to, all right, to get the abundance that you want out of it. Now, and you're feeling, you got the 7 of Cups, you guys feeling a little confused, feeling a little lost. And I think that you have a lot of options that you may need to decipher from. And being a Libra myself, this is hard, right? When you're looking at all these cups and you're like, okay, all these look great, which one do I pick? We have a little bit of indecisive problems. And it's not that we're indecisive, it's that we're just trying to weigh the pros and cons of each option. And that's the constant thing. Like, we're constantly weighing the pros and cons of each thing that comes our way. And it has a lot to do with this individual that we're dealing with. The person that we're dealing with has a lot of these little, quirks and things, and they may need to be reevaluated. It may need to be looked at. It may need to be weighed out. Which one makes sense? Which is something I could deal with? What sacrifice am I going to make in regards to this person? And what am I not going to tolerate with this person? And if there's an option or there's a way for you to mend those things or to make those things work for the both of you guys, despite the differences that's there. So, 7 of Cups is talking about making those decisions, those and taking your time with really looking at the situation for what they truly are. I feel like you guys may feel in love, maybe in very, engulfed in the romance, but at the same time, you really want to make sure that whatever you're dealing with is real because of the Ace of Pentacles and the underlying energy. You're working with something that's going to potentially bring you towards stability, support, and security, something that's going to actually last you for a very long time, hopefully forever. So you really want to make sure that what you're dealing with is legit. Now, for your hopes and fears, you guys have the Tower. Y'all don't want nothing unexpected to happen, but you do want some change. I get the feeling. I feel like you guys want some change to happen. You want something to kind of, shift. And I feel like that's what's going to, you ultimately want to break free. You want to break out of this Eight of Swords energy, and the change would definitely help. However, change is scary. Change is still something that's like, ugh, I don't know. So I feel like with the Tower, I feel like ultimately that you guys want the change, but then you're a little bit hesitant in regards to the certain change that comes up. Now, how I used to read the Tower too, which I still do read that, it just hasn't come up with for me until now, is that you would also want things to kind of happen in the way that you want it to happen before the universe decides to just go ahead and make something happen so it adjusts. You want things to just snap into place the way that you want it on your terms. You don't want the universe to go ahead and just say, okay, since this is not going to be handled, we'll push things to make it be handled. So that's why I feel like you guys want the control, you want the change, but you don't want that radical change to spiral things out of control. So where you have to do what you were planning to do anyway. So be very careful about that. Now, for the outcome, you guys have the Emperor. So I feel like for love, you guys are dealing with somebody that's very stubborn, very hard-headed, very hard to deal with, and hard to compromise with. But that's why you have a lot of these queens here. I feel like you guys have this gentle touch, this hand to be able to be like, look, this is what I'm not dealing with either. So you either you compromise or you sacrifice the fact that you just messed up this entire relationship. You know what I'm saying, Libra? Like at the end of the day, somebody's got to compromise. You do a lot of the compromising, somebody else needs to compromise. And I feel like this is you, actually. You're dealing with a hard-headed mofo, fine, right? You're dealing with somebody that tries to be hard, that tries to be uncompromising. Well, you could be just as uncompromising as well. This is it for me. This isn't what I want. You better figure out a way to change your mind or do something, because I ain't finna adjust my stuff. I ain't finna adjust what I want. I ain't finna do any of that because I've already done that enough for you. You guys compromise great. You compromise a great deal already. Time to shape up, time to do some things. I feel like you may end up being very, very stubborn here, and that's something I actually like, Libra. Standing on your own truth, standing on your own ground. You're like, nah, this is not happening. It is what it is. So I feel like ultimately you're going to become the rock that people have to walk around because they have no way of being able to convince you otherwise. And sometimes it's not actually a bad thing. I really feel like it's an empowering thing. That's a thing that can really show you your power and push you forward. But also, the Emperor isn't just stubbornness, but it's also getting things done and going about doing the thing that you want to do, right? Mars ruled energy. So you really want to get things going. The energy here with the Queen of Wands isn't just, being not taking its crap and feeling confident, but it's also getting things done, being very active, doing things, putting action towards stuff. And I feel like you're going to be putting some action towards stuff. You could be dealing with somebody that's older than you and they try to be hard, or you could be older than the other person. Whatever age difference comes up with this, I do get the sense though that if they're stubborn, you're going to be stubborn or even harder, and that's going to cause some things to either get them to adjust, to show them how serious you are about certain boundaries that you have, because you're not very picky. Okay, when something comes up, you guys are there's a lot of things that you guys let pass, but I do believe that there are some things you're not willing to compromise, and that's fair enough. Okay, now let me go ahead and pull you guys your romance angels for the week. Okay. Okay? You guys have make the effort. Now, that's why the Queen of Wands is coming up in your advice. Queen of Wands, make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. And that is regarding the relationship, right? Standing your ground, defending yourself, defending what you believe in, defending the relationship even, but ultimately just defending your place in the relationship, defending what you believe you deserve and what you want in the relationship as well. Making the effort by putting in the time to correct the person that crosses your boundaries, or to make the effort to not cross anyone else's boundaries, to be more considerate, and to show that you are willing to put in the time, the work, the dedication, the loyalty into making this relationship the strong foundation, the strong home, the strong, lifelong partner that you can be. All right, let's go ahead and pull your Wisdom of the Oracle card. For the week. All right, and you guys have why. Okay, back to the Seven of Cups and your feelings. That's the hashing out, figuring things out, getting down to the nitty gritty, and really understanding the why of why you do the things that you do, why you have certain boundaries, why the other person has certain boundaries, understanding, pretty much. Why is all about getting the understanding out of your situation, understanding what this relationship means to you, understanding what needs to be put into the relationship to make it happen, right? And I feel like ultimately you guys already know that, but for some of you that are dealing with people that may not have this experience with the understanding or the knowledge behind a relationship and how to get it to work, it is an understanding of why they don't understand and what may need to be done, and why patience is necessary for you guys. But ultimately, there's other decisions here that you need to make. Now, the decisions that I, as a reader, would take too much time to break down individually. But you have to figure out the why out of every situation. The reason why you're mad, why? The reason why you're correcting them, why? All these things. And if you break those down to be able to understand it, so that way you can explain it to your partner, things will be smooth sailing, things will be alright, and you'll be able to see that there is a future to build, there is something you can plan for, and you can truly successfully plan it in the way that is both, that's both supportive of both parties.